All right, guys, welcome back to the channel. Welcome if you're new. Thanks for taking time out of your day to check the video out. We have more PlayStation news, rumors, and leaks to go over and cover today. We're talking about Horizon Forbidden West Complete Edition. We're talking about Housemarque. We're also going to be talking about a new update that Red Dead Redemption got on the PS5 that I think many people are going to care about. And then finally, we're going to be talking about the Last of Us multiplayer game and what's going on with that. So before we get into these topics, do me a favor. If you end up enjoying the video or finding it informative, be sure to leave it a like. And if you are new here to the channel, please consider hitting that subscribe button as well. Now, we're starting here with Horizon Forbidden West. We're finding out a couple of good things about this release on PS5. The first is that it's going to come with the DLC on the disc, but on top of that, it's actually going to come with 2 discs. So being reported by PlayStation Lifestyle, they say Horizon Forbidden West Complete Edition will launch on 2 discs. Copies of the game have started making their way to store shelves ahead of its release, with players noting that the back of the box mentions 2 discs and the requirement for 125 gigabytes of hard drive space. Horizon Forbidden West Complete Edition includes the base game and its expansion Burning Shores, with the latter only being available on the PS5. The Complete Edition also skips the PS4. So yeah, this is something that does actually make sense, but it's good to see because I think a lot of people were anticipating that if you bought the Horizon Forbidden West Complete Edition, it would come with a voucher for the DLC where you just input the code. But it's nice to see that Sony is actually, putting this stuff on discs and making sure that if you buy a physical copy, all the content's actually going to be on those discs. So yeah, good stuff here. Let me know if this is something you're planning on picking up, and let me know what you think about this. The next topic talks about Returnal Studio Housemarque and how they are seemingly getting ready to upgrade their studio in a very significant way. This is being reported by Push Square. They say developer Housemarque, the makers of the excellent Returnal, is set to move into a state-of-the-art sounding studio by the end of next year. The team is Finland's longest-standing game developer, founded in 1995 and operating out of Helsinki ever since. In a new blog post on its website, Housemarque says it's looking to relocate, still within the Finnish capital, the Nordic's most advanced gaming headquarters. The aim is for the studio to be both a testament to our rich gaming legacy and a beacon of innovation and creativity in the northernmost capital. Calling it more than just a shiny new office, the brand director describes the studio's vision for a modern and expensive-sounding workspace with features like cutting-edge meeting rooms, proper audio studios, testing areas, and wellness spaces. We are creating an environment that merges Nordic sensibilities with creativity, aiming to attract the world's best game developers, the Post reads. As well as that, Housemarque wants the new studio to be eco-friendly as well. Our revamped hub will champion green initiatives, ensuring a balance between technology and planetary care, it says. As we embark on this transformative journey, we're committed to further solidifying our position in the world of gameplay innovation. And so, yeah, I had to mention this to you guys because this is pretty significant, right? We see a studio like Housemarque being officially acquired by Sony and being part of the PlayStation Studios family. And this is one of the major benefits of something like that happening, right? A team like Housemarque now gets to seriously upgrade their workspace and be on the cutting edge. And this is only going to result in, better games, right? This is going to result in good things for all the development team in terms of growth and in terms of just productivity. And hopefully, yeah, we get to see Housemarque's new IP. And it is worth noting they are working on a new IP. I know a lot of people are always wondering, when are we going to see more new IP from Sony? Well, this is one of those studios that is working on it. And it also mentions here at the bottom of the article, it's worth noting that it's not the only PlayStation Studios team to, get a new office. Media Molecule, their Guildford office, has just received a total refurbishment, and Firesprite moved into a super modern studio, which we talked about earlier. And so, yeah, generally speaking, it sounds like Sony is investing heavily in these studios and ensuring that they have the best possible workspace to, hopefully produce the best possible games. So there you go. Good news for Housemarque. Moving on from that, though, we have a pretty significant update for the Red Dead Redemption Remaster on PS5. Once again, from Push Square, they have an original story here where they say the PS4 version of Red Dead Redemption has just received a new patch, weighing in at only a few hundred megabytes. Update 1.03's official description simply says general bug fixes, stability fixes, and improvements. However, if you go ahead and boot the game up, you'll immediately notice that a 60 frames per second option has been added. You can also toggle it on and off in the pause menu. And they have an update here where they say it's been confirmed that the PS4 version of Red Dead Redemption only offers the new 60 FPS setting when played on PS5 via backwards compatibility. So, yeah, it's worth noting that, this is, again, not a native PS5 version of Red Dead Redemption, but this is a pretty significant update because, to me, this is really what made the Red Dead Redemption remaster, frankly, unacceptable for the price point. The fact that playing it on PS5, they couldn't even offer a 60 FPS option. I mean, it should have been available from the launch of the game, right, for both PS4 and PS5. But this is, I think, a big deal for quite a few people, maybe people who were holding out, waiting to see if this was something that was going to happen. And so it's nice to see that Rockstar added this. Again, should have been there from the onset, but better late than never. And so I guess at this point, I kind of want to know, were you somebody who was waiting to see if they were going to add the 60 FPS option? Let me know down in the comments below. But we are moving on to the final topic. We have an update on the Last of Us multiplayer game and what's going on at Naughty Dog. This is being reported by Push Square. They say it's been recently reported that Naughty Dog is cutting ties with many of its contract workers amid a huge wave of industry layoffs. However, one detail in Kotaku's report that admittedly passed us by pertains to the state of the developer's only known project, its multiplayer Last of Us game. According to Kotaku sources, the game is, quote, not completely canceled, but is basically on ice at this point, end quote. Initially starting out as a multiplayer companion to The Last of Us Part 2, the project grew in size and was eventually spun out to become a standalone title. Though it has been acknowledged by Naughty Dog a few times, it still doesn't have a name and hasn't been publicly shown, except for a few pieces of concept art. It's been in the works for years, and reportedly, Sony brought in Bungie to evaluate the live service game and see how things were going. Unfortunately, the outcome wasn't positive, and this apparently set development back quite dramatically. Now it's on ice, according to this new report. It's pretty much what we expected, but it's unfortunate to hear. The Last of Us has a lot of potential for multiplayer. The original Factions mode is beloved by fans, and many were expecting a grand expansion to that concept. Combined with Part 2's excellent action, it seemed, like a sure thing, but its development has now slowed to a crawl. And so, once again, we're getting another report regarding Naughty Dog that's not ideal. It sounds like things are not going too good over there with the studio, and frankly, it sounds like there's some pretty significant mismanagement going on. It is incredibly unfortunate, I think, for people who enjoyed the original Factions multiplayer mode and have been patiently waiting for this game to see it revealed, to obviously see it released, to now hear that the game is on ice. And look, I don't want to say it's going to get canceled because we simply don't know. We have no idea what Sony plans to do with this. What we do know is that it's been in development for multiple years. Naughty Dog has spent, precious development time on this project. They've probably dumped a significant amount of money into it. And it would really be truly unfortunate if it did result in its cancellation, because at that point, fans end up getting absolutely nothing. They were okay with the idea of not getting a Factions mode with The Last of Us Part 2 because there was the promise that it's because it's going to be even bigger and better than anything we could have put in The Last of Us Part 2 as just an additional mode, right? And so, yeah, it's quite unfortunate. I honestly was holding out a lot of hope for this game. Anybody who's been following me for a little while, you know that my expectations were very high here. I know Naughty Dog isn't really known for their multiplayer. They have, done multiplayer, and I think some people believe that they've done it pretty well in the past, but they're mainly known to be a single-player first studio, and it is at least worth noting here that even though the Last of Us multiplayer game is, as they put it here, on ice, Naughty Dog is now developing a new single player game. We don't know if it's a new IP or The Last of Us Part 3, but either way, they've moved on to that. Sounds like they've just completely walked away from this. And again, I wouldn't be surprised at all if in the coming months we hear the announcement, or maybe not the announcement, but maybe we'll get like a report saying that Sony decided to cancel this game outright. And yeah, I guess at this point, what I'll say is I hope they can save this to some degree, right? Even if it's like, here's a year from now or a year and a half from now, The Last of Us Part 2 Director's Cut, and this time it comes with, another factions mode or an updated factions mode. Just take something that they did all this time and, get it in the hands of the players, of the fans, so that way there's something there. I think that would be a pretty good scenario, but yeah, this is what we're hearing. So unfortunate. I'll be interested to see what you guys have to say. Let me know your thoughts down below, but that's going to do it for the video. I hope you did enjoy it. If you did, be sure to leave it a like, subscribe to the channel if you're new, hit the bell notification icon, and feel free to share the video out on top of all that. But until next time, guys, take care.